A few years ago, a floor ticket to see one of the biggest artists in the world cost roughly the same as a round-trip flight across the country. Not a VIP package, not a meet and greet, just a general admission spot on the floor. That's not a fluke, and it's not price gouging in the traditional sense. It's the result of an entire industry deliberately redesigning how it makes money, borrowing tools from airlines, hotels, and stock exchanges to squeeze every dollar out of a sold-out show. Here's exactly how that happened. For most of the 20th century, concert tickets were priced the same way a restaurant prices a meal. Promoters added up the fixed costs, venue rental, production, the artist's fee, divided by the number of seats, and set a price. Simple. The problem was that model had no way to account for demand. When a massive act came to town, tickets sold out in minutes at face value. Then, those same tickets reappeared on resale sites at 2 or 3 times the original price, sometimes more. That gap between what fans paid at the box office and what they'd clearly pay on the secondary market represented millions of dollars in lost revenue per tour. And none of it went to the artist, the promoter, or the venue. It went entirely to resellers who bought early and flipped fast. That inefficiency became impossible to ignore. So the industry went looking for a model that had already solved this exact problem. Airlines figured this out decades ago. When you book a flight 6 months in advance, you get a low fare. Book the same seat the night before departure, and you'll pay 3 times as much. The seat is identical. The price isn't. That's yield management, an algorithm that adjusts prices in real time based on how fast inventory is selling. The live entertainment industry adopted the same system. Under dynamic pricing, a ticket no longer has a fixed cost at the point of sale. The software watches how many people are in the queue, how fast tickets are moving, the time of day, the city, even the device you're using. When demand spikes, the price goes up automatically. The result is that 2 fans sitting next to each other in the same section might have paid completely different amounts, sometimes hundreds of dollars apart, simply because one of them bought an hour earlier. The product being sold isn't just access to a show anymore. It's the window of time you're willing to act in. Urgency has a price. The dynamic pricing algorithm doesn't care about the fan experience. It doesn't care whether a ticket costs $50 or $500. It has a single, cold objective: tracking real-time scarcity and finding the absolute highest price a fan is willing to pay before walking away. To understand why this happened, we have to look at how streaming changed the entire economics of music. Decades ago, the math was simple. Tours were essentially marketing tools designed to sell albums. Because streaming platforms pay fractions of a cent per play, the live show has become an artist's primary source of survival. But at the same time, the logistics of touring have grown massive. Production costs have skyrocketed. The result is intense, top-down pressure to extract as much revenue as possible from every single seat in the venue. Most people don't actually get angry when they see an expensive ticket price up front. They get angry when a $150 ticket suddenly transforms into $210 at checkout. It's a psychological bait and switch built into the very plumbing between ticketing platforms and venues. In exchange for becoming the exclusive ticketing provider for a venue, companies like Ticketmaster pay the venue a significant upfront fee, plus ongoing revenue sharing. The service charges you see at checkout are how those deals get recouped, along with the cost of running the actual infrastructure: security compliance, digital systems, staffing. Separating these from the base price is a deliberate design choice. It lets the advertised ticket price look lower than the real total cost until the last step of checkout. This is why legislation in several countries has started pushing for all-in pricing to be shown up front. It's working. Despite prices that would have seemed absurd 15 years ago, Global demand for top-tier live events has barely flinched. Major stadium tours routinely sell out. Resale markets for the biggest artists remain active at prices well above face value. Economists call this inelastic demand, when people keep buying something even as the price rises, because the alternatives aren't good enough. There is no streaming substitute for being in the room. There's no replay of a shared live moment. A concert ticket used to be a fixed price. Today, it's a moving target, calculated in real time by software designed to measure your demand. The next time you see a ticket that costs as much as a flight, you're not looking at a broken system. You're looking at a system doing exactly what it was built to do.